What's going on, guys and gals? Chris, a Bonafide Hustler, coming to you live from the inside of my house. Yeah, so I'm doing a little Q&A. I just dropped a vlog like not too long ago, so go check it out if you get a chance. But yeah, we're sitting here, and it's a beautiful evening in Austin, Texas. I just played with my dog. I got some things to sell to some people in about an hour and about an hour and 15 minutes, and then an hour and a half. So I'm trying to line up this bike sale for an hour. About an hour from now. And then I got someone coming over an hour and a half from now for a cool thrifted find. $70. I think I'm into it for like $15. Anyways, welcome to the show. And in this show, we're going to do an open Q&A. But yeah, I have some things on my mind because I'm trying to line up a couple deals right as the show ends. So first thing that would sell would be a pizza oven that I picked up for $15. I really wanted to get $100 for it, but someone offered me $70. So I think we're going to go ahead and say yes to that. That person comes at $830. And then I also have a bike that should sell for $550 or maybe $525, something like that. Either way, I am $55 into this bike. So that would be a really good, profit, and nice to pocket that money before the weekend, before the garage sales come around, Anyway, so welcome to the show, and I'm the Bonafide Hustler. I reside in Austin, Texas, and for over 2 decades, I've been buying and reselling and flipping items that are predominantly used that I find at garage sales, estate sales, flea markets, pawn shops, swap meets, garage sales, yard sales, all that kind of stuff. So that's what I do. And it's not the primary thing that I do, but it's like the side thing that I do. And at times in my life, it was the primary thing that I would do. But I love doing it. I love making vlogs, especially on YouTube. And if you're watching me right here, then put a chat real quick. Let me open up the chat. Is this live, Kenny Ran one? Yes, it is. So I'll show you this comment. Look at this. I can put comments on here. Is this live? It actually is live, Kenny. So welcome to the show. But yeah, I reside in Austin, Texas, in the middle part of the country. We have a pretty decent thrift scene here. The garage sale scene is pretty good, but there are better, thrift scenes across the country. There are better garage sales across the country, or scenes across the country. Let's do the best with what I can, considering I'm a creator as well. All that stuff takes a lot of time. But I do like more faster type flips now these days, whereas I would have a lot more inventory back in the day, and I would just get so like totally into it. And now it's like I have my boundaries, and I have like my absolute like profit, calculated way ahead of the time and all that kind of stuff. So I really don't get into like inventory issues anymore. But I really like I still really like doing this, no matter what town I go to, vacation or visiting or whatever. I always try to go to thrift stores, and I always try to go to garage sales. So if you're catching me live right now, you could catch me from YouTube, Facebook, and possibly even Instagram. So first thing, real quick, we got some people that are coming in. Where are you tuning in from? Let me know. Is it YouTube? Is it Instagram? Or is it Facebook? Just let me know right now. It's good to see everyone. I will put a comment in here too. So I'll put good to see everyone. Nice. I aim to do more live shows and stuff like that. But we have people saying, Hustle Man, what's up, Bonafide? It's good to see you, Hustle Man. Thriller Gorilla Picker. We have, what's up, Bonafide? That's right. We see all these little comments coming up. There we go. Good to see everyone. Yeah. And what else we got here? Don't we all start like that? Yeah, exactly. But I love it. I love it. So we got some people tuning in from YouTube, which is cool. We have Senor Flipper tuning in from YouTube as well. Hey, if you want to get a shout out, you want to be on the screen, you can, say something and I'll put you up here. But yeah, YouTube, Washington State. Oh, that's another thing. See, this person's getting ahead of the questions here, because I usually ask the audience, like, where are you pulling in? Where are you tuning in from? So let me know that as well. But yeah, so we have some cool things that are coming down the pipeline. I just launched a vlog today, so go check it out on YouTube. It launched like 30 minutes ago. And it's just a really cool vlog of just some random stuff. And plus my brother was in town, so, some shenanigans in there. But it was pretty neat. Here's a question right here. This is a Q&A kind of show, so ask me questions and everything like that. As long as it's not like terribly, terribly, terribly personal, I'll probably answer them. Is your profit goal still $50? Yes. As a general rule, it's usually $50 or more. So with every flip, I try to get 50 or more in profit. Well, if you watch my vlogs, a lot of flips will get more than $50 in profit. I mean, that would just be like my absolute. Now, that said, if you watch some of my current vlogs, there's certain things that I'll take 15 or 20 bucks on if it's a porch pickup, or if someone's coming right to the door and I give it to them, like a video game. I'm trying to think what else was like 20 bucks. I just don't have many $20 things or $35 things. I would sell a pair of bike shoes, porch pickup. I've gotten ripped off with porch pickup recently in a vlog. Not that I care, but yeah, you know, I try to look at it as, you know, I look at everything in a time sense, right? So, you know, I would still say I'm a professional reseller at this point. If I'm looking at everything in a time sense and I was a thrifter, for example, then I would go, okay, well, like, what does the thrift game come down to? It comes down to sourcing, it comes down to inspecting, listing, and then converting, like shipping. You know, like those are the kind of the 3 steps, right? So it's like sourcing, inspecting or prepping an item, listing it, and then shipping it off. So like 4 steps. Sorry, I said 3, but maybe 4. So if I'm a pro thrifter, for example, or if I'm in that mode, I would probably dedicate, you know, probably Tuesdays to Thursdays at thrift stores, just because that's when for me, this is when I see the most inventory in the thrift stores here in this town. It wouldn't be Monday because you couldn't fill the shelves fast enough from like a weekend kind of drain, right? Remember, I live in Austin, Texas, so thrifting is like super mainstream here. So yeah, I wouldn't want to go on Monday and I wouldn't want to go on Friday for traffic reasons. And there's just a lot of people that skip school and like people get out or work early. So like the thrift stores have more people in them. So meaning the inventory gets drained down pretty hard. So I would probably ramp up my sourcing from Tuesday to Thursday. I would have this enormous like hump of like time commitment Tuesday to Thursday. And then I would take the down days of Monday to Friday to like list everything, inspect everything, make sure it's all good, put it on different avenues, of course, you know, not just eBay. I said shipping earlier, but I'm not implying that everything has to be shipped. You can do shipping on Facebook Marketplace and all that kind of stuff. I don't do that yet, but you know, local flips are great, as you can see, or if you tuned into the very first part of the show, like I'm going to end this show in about 45 minutes because I have 2 local, you know, sales that are probably going to come around tonight. So that's pretty good. And I want to make sure, I want to make sure that I actually get that money. So that's what I would, you know, you got to be smart in your modes, right? So I get real smart about garage sale mode. Like garage sale mode now, I'll usually go from like 7:30 in the morning to about 11:30, whereas usually I would tap out at like 10 o'clock with e-money, you know, from the previous vlogs. But now it's like there's such a ripe time to get such amazing inventory that I'm willing to do the, you know, 40 to 70 miles in my SUV, going to so many different places just to stock up on so much goods that I can list throughout the week, you know? So that's the way I look at it, because that's the highest point of where you can find this stuff. When it comes to garage sales, for example, it's going to be a Saturday morning, sometimes a Sunday morning too, but typically a Saturday morning. So it's like you wouldn't want to go to garage sales on a Thursday because there aren't going to be many, but they're going to be a ton on Saturday, right? So you have to look at when the best chances of getting the inventory is, and that's when you put the most amount of work into territory coverage, you know, getting in your car and covering, you know, the good neighborhoods or the good thrift stores. And then you go into execution mode on the back end, which is like, all right, now you have the items, the thrill is kind of over. It's time to convert your money as fast as possible. So that's how I do it. So we have, what do we got here? We got some other, we have some comments coming in. You have to fail to succeed. That's right. This person's mostly in estate sale mode. That's good. What kind of modes are you guys predominantly in throughout the week? So I guess the first question would be, how many people tuning in right now are part-time resellers? How many people are full-time resellers? And how many people dabble, right? So just let me know. You know, I'll even put mine in the comment feed right now. I am a part-time reseller. All right. That's me checking in right there in the comment feed. I am a part-time reseller. I really am. Now, with the amount of content that I produce, it could give the illusion that I am a full-time reseller, but I'm a part-time reseller. I have other things that I, do. So, but I still love reselling because, gosh, for part-time hours, you make some really good money, So, yeah, it's just one of those things that everyone can kind of figure out what their goals are, and if you have a family, or you have different time constraints. Like I have more time constraints now than I did 5 years ago, and so it makes more sense for me to be a part-time reseller than a full-time reseller. And I don't know, I could do the full-time thing. I could, and it would be pretty fun for sure. I think I would do very, 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 very well. But at the end of the day, I have other things that I want to achieve. And if you know about me, you know that there are other channels involved and stuff. So I like fitness things and all that. So anyway, yeah, we have some part-time resellers in the house here. We have Felicia in the house. What up, Felicia? Good to see you. We have a full-time reseller right here. Full-time, it's cool. And with more experience, this person, Senor Flipper's gonna go to, full-time. But right now, that person is part-time. So yeah, here's something about part-time. Part-time now went from 4K on eBay to 250. Full-time, 60-hour work week, more for the thrill of the wife and I. Yeah, so that's kind of like what it is for me. I think a lot of people are actually part-time. Here's Thomas checking in, retired from military 14 years ago. Use reselling to pay the bills and vacations kind of thing. Yeah, it's kind of the way I look at it too, to be honest with you. It pays more than bills. And it just, I just like flipping things a lot. So at the end of the day, it's like I don't have really any extravagant things, I mean, outside of like a house and a couple of cars, but like nothing extravagant. No, we're not talking like a yacht in Monaco or anything like that. We don't have that yet, but I just like doing it. So, but yeah, I always like trying different things. Let's put it that way. So I have other goals that I want to mess with right now. And I used thrifting as a part-time thing. Okay, so what else we got here? We have a question that came earlier. Sorry, phone's ringing. Yeah, this is the time of the evening where things kind of get crazy. So yeah, okay. So I just want to make sure I get caught up on the comments. Looks like some people are tuning in from Facebook. We have people tuning in from mostly YouTube, obviously. No one from Instagram. That's really interesting. I wonder if it's even live on Instagram. Oh, should I check my Instagram and check out right now? Let's see. I wonder if I am live and it has like a little thing on there. Let's see. Bona fide hustler. I don't think I have a little live logo. I might. Nope, it doesn't have one. And I honestly do not know why. So I don't know why yet, why the live logo on Instagram. So that explains that whole thing. Or maybe I just didn't hit the final key of like go live. That's probably what it is. Yeah, I didn't hit the final key. Whatever. Okay. My bad. Okay. So what else we got here question wise? Here we go. I also like to learn about the past. Yeah. So this is like in relation to like just thrifting in general. I love rescuing things from the past. I was born in the 80s, or I was born, well, my glory years in 80s and 90s, right? That's when I like had my childhood and everything. I was born in 78, but I didn't remember any of the 70s. So like 1980s were really cool. Cartoons, toys, the real birth, I would say, of like modern day video gaming, with the advent of Nintendo. So many cool collectible figures, even to this day, figurines and toys. And yeah. And the funny thing is, even back then, garage sales were still a big deal. My mom would go to garage sales all the time. I distinctly remember going to high school with like these super awesome pair of ASICs that I thought were the coolest thing. I got them from a garage sale for dirt cheap. But my mom would always go to garage sales and stuff like that, always. So, and she always had a side hustle too. She was a stay-at-home mom, but she had a side hustle of making school uniforms for a private school down the road. It was absolutely wild. So she was always in her little sewing room, AKA a laundry room, just sewing away stuff. It was just her thing. She was making money that way. But yeah, I really like to learn about the past too. And this person right here, Thriller Gorilla Picker, saying that things were just made better in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. I mean, yeah, the advent of plastics came around after that, and everything got kind of weird and cheap. But there's a lot of cool stuff to like flip from the 80s and 90s. That's obvious. And yeah, a lot of cool clothing too. Let's not forget the clothing part of it. We got a question right here. Here we go. Would you ever open your own estate sale or auction house? The answer would be no, and only because, like I said, I'm part-time reseller. I don't want to. That's basically going full-time into something that I'm not 100% like super all about estate sales to begin with, but I'm also on the reseller side of it, right? I'm not on the let me host this whole thing, then I make a big cut out of everything that I sell. That's not the side that I'm on. I'm on the side of like finding the great deals and then bringing it to the second market. So estate sales wouldn't be my first pick to find these things because those things are totally pre-looked up and marked up and everything. So when I try to find great deals, it's going to be always thrift stores, Facebook Marketplace, and garage sales. That's going to be where I want to go. So to answer the question and put this question back up again, would you ever open up your own estate sale auction house? I wouldn't, but for two reasons. One is I don't want to get full-time into that type of reselling, right? If I want to go full-time into something, I would be doing digital stuff and reselling all over the country, different towns, and then bringing it all home. Like that sounds more fun to me. It's more freedom. If I open up my own estate sale company or auction house, probably have to put like 1 to 3 years into it, hire a really killer staff, and then maybe you could oversee the whole thing. But honestly, here in this town, I don't know of like an actual owner of the estate sale company that I would say is just like absolutely killing it like every single year. So there's that to be considered as well. Not to say you couldn't make good money, but that's just the way I see it. I'm like, I think if you were to ask my dreams 10 years ago or 20 years ago, even when I had been reselling, what's like a total dream of mine, I think I have more of a dream of just being creative and having a big YouTube channel or, being a fitness guru or something like that. I hate saying that word guru because it gets such a bad spin, but, basically imparting my knowledge about fitness to the masses to where it changes people. Like that would be what I would answer 10 to 20 years ago. But I wouldn't say I want to be the owner of an estate sale company. That it just wouldn't come out of my mouth. So to answer the question, I wouldn't, but I can appreciate that hustle. And some people love that stuff. It wouldn't be my thing. What else we got here? Time is money, skateboards from the 80s. Yep, you're right. This is a good question. I don't know if I can really elaborate too much on this, but my reseller goal for 2025 would be to really build the channel up harder by bringing more point of view kind of stuff. So GoPro footage, going into places, getting in, not altercations, but getting conversations and deals done and all that. I think that would be a lot of fun. Those videos are they're fun to do. I'm a decent enough editor too on video to where I think it would just be fun to do, and it's just one extra thing to do because I would be there in the first place. Like I'm going to go to thrift stores. I'm going to go to garage sales. I may as well just strap on the GoPro, do a lot more POV. And then I think like if we're talking money goal, I wouldn't be able to answer you on that just because, again, it's part-time and part-time just on like local flips or eBay, combined. I said this on a previous show. My goal roundabout is to get to about $200 a day. That's my goal. So that's a part-time kind of thing, $200 a day. Obviously, there's some days that go way, way, way higher than that. But that would be my like baseline. Like I want to get to close to $200 a day. There are some days that go, like last Saturday it was 425 or maybe more than that actually. And then Sunday was like 2 exactly, or maybe 180. So it just kind of fluctuates. But that would be my goal. I like the daily kind of goal because it allows you to, I wouldn't even say weekly because you can get kind of torn up in that and like caught up in that. Like, oh my God, my week wasn't that good. I like daily goals because if I see a couple days that are just sub 200, or maybe 150, then it makes me want to like relist better and like, do better things and list more. So that's the reason why I like daily, because like you can correct it quicker. So, and again, it's just for fun. So I'm doing it just for fun. Just like I do the $50 pure profit thing just for fun, but it makes a lot of sense. After a while, you're like, oh, these are daily goals that are kind of fun. I like it. So everyone's got different kind of things that motivate them. Some people are motivated by weekly things. Some people are motivated by monthly numbers. I am motivated by just a daily amount, which keeps things like fun and fresh. And I find myself listing a lot of wacky, crazy items that I know I don't need anymore. If you watch the vlog today, you'll see some old Pepsi bottles that you're going to be like, what? Like, how did he even have those things? We never saw him pick those things up. And those are from garage sales like years and years and years ago. I don't know why I had them, but I just remembered it after watching a YouTube video. So I listed them and I sold those Pepsi bottles that were 30 years old that had Pepsi in them, sealed. I sold them like the next day. So it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I like it. I just like keeping it fun. Here we go. Tim Miner, do I still pick up the display bikes from the grocery stores? I think they were beer displays. So this person, what's up, Tim? Good to see you. Tim Miner has a question right here. You've actually been in the hot seat of the spaceship once, maybe twice, but I think once for sure. For sure once, because I met you in the early morning at a HEB parking lot, probably 2016, my guess. Do I still pick up the display bikes from grocery stores? I think they were beer displays. So those bikes that you're talking about are New Belgium Brewery bikes. And those were contracted to, yes, some grocery stores, but mostly convenience stores that had pretty good volume of New Belgium beer sales. So New Belgium, and I don't know about now, but 10 years ago, they were making a bike, a signature bike for every single year, and they were very collectible. Now, so some people talk about them, but they still collect the older ones, like back when I was talking about them on my videos. And every year there'll be a different collectible one. So to answer the question right here, do I still pick them up? I had homies that were in the convenience store business that would give me these bikes because they knew that I liked them a lot. I would ride them around for a little bit, then I would just turn them and burn them and flip them. And I would also look for them on Craigslist and then flip them from there too, because Facebook Marketplace was not around back then. So these are called New Belgium cruiser bikes. They're predominantly in 26-inch wheel formation and sometimes 700C wheel formation. They're really cool looking. Some of them have baskets that you can put a 12-pack in of beer. And they're just really interesting looking bikes. They're very stylish in certain years, just command crazy money, like north of $500 a bike, sometimes up to $800 a bike. And these bikes are still pretty collectible. And they've been contracted to different companies. They've had Detroit Bikes as a contract. Felt is the good one, the one that you want to look out for. Schwinn has been in there. I want to say Admiral, and then possibly even Electra, but I'm not sure if Electra is true. But either way, they would contract with really good cruiser bike companies, and they would get this amazing schematic done for the yearly bike. And then you would see that yearly bike in convenience stores, certain convenience stores. And it was so cool. And the convenience stores could not sell it to the general public unless you had homies that worked there, and I did. Outside of that, you would have to find it on the second market somewhere. And people were charging like $500 to $800 to sometimes $1,000 for these bikes because they were really pretty. So anyway, yeah, I don't have many more. There was one, I think it was the 2014 one, the blue and the white one. And that one I probably used for 4 years. I got it for free. I used it for 4 years, and then I sold it for like $275. I mean, it was a great bike, but that was back in my cruiser bike days. Now I just have I used to have 20 bikes, right? I used to have 20 bikes in my garage. So like a bike for every day, like truly almost a bike for every day of the month, right? But I just got obsessed with it. And then after a while, I was like, I'm not really that obsessed with it. And I want to get down to like 4 bikes. So now I have like 4 bikes. And I sold all the other ones just because I lost interest. It wasn't fun anymore, you know? So anyway, I don't pick those things up, those New Belgium cruisers, but if they come around and they're dirt cheap, I would absolutely pick them up. But I don't make it a point to pick them up yet anymore. Okay, here we go. Thanks for answering my question. Keep moving the game forward. You are welcome. Here we go. There's another question right here. Where did you move your antique booth to? My booth is moved to Round Rock Antique Mall. It's booth 1999. So pretty awesome. We have Jimmy Him in the house. Hit the like button. Thank you very much for that. Hit the thumbs up if you're on YouTube, please. And here we go. Other people saying hit the thumbs up. One of the questions I want to ask you guys is, what's the best flip that you've had in the past week? So let me know that answer down below. I need to see who texted me. No, maybe that's a Facebook thing. Hold on. I have to be able to like get these deals, man. Okay. I don't know why that notification came up. Cool. I see that my thing is live. Oh man, this is so crazy. I literally see myself live on my own phone. Look at that. Look how crazy that is. Anyway, so yeah, hit the thumbs up and let's see what else. And also there's another, speaking of Facebook, there was a question right here. Where's that question? There was a question somewhere out here. What are my goals for 2025? Remember this question right here from Senor Flipper. What are your reseller goals for 2025? I have some really interesting kind of goals because remember, like I have things built in the background. I have an email list. I have all these guides and stuff like that, right? So one of my goals actually is to grow that side of the business through viral reels. Like that's just the way it is. So like Facebook, strangely enough, is the place where I've had the most viral success with a couple of videos like cruising like over 1 million or so. One might be at like 2 million. I don't even know. But I'm learning, right? I'm learning how to do it right and like learning how to get the call out correctly, the CTA and like all this stuff. And it's really hard to do. But anyway, it's just really cool because you can provide some really good information for some people, get them to get a guide, they get inspired, they start changing their life, they start thrifting, and then they find other YouTube channels and they take it to another level. And, you know, if I could be a piece of that puzzle, then I would say that's great. at the end of the day, people are always looking for a side hustle. Man, I can't, of all my friends that I have on Facebook, it just seems like every single person has got some side project that they're working on, meaning that they don't want to be, they don't want to have a boss. They want to be a boss. They don't want a 9 to 5. They want to, whenever I wake up to whenever I want to go to bed, I want to grind as much as I can. And I want to take some days off if I want. This is just a universal thing that people want. Now, some people are brave enough to go and chase that. And some people will just be like, yeah, it's kind of scary. I'd rather take the steady paycheck kind of thing. That's cool. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people have side hustle dreams. And I just see it left and right on my Facebook and my friends and everything. Like everyone's kind of trying to do something. And also the economy is tightening. There's a rise of AI, which is going to wipe out like hella jobs out there. It's a lot of threats, egg prices are skyrocketing. There's so many threats, and money's important if you live in the USA. So I can understand how people want to take a stab at making some side income. And then like with the dreams of like, man, if this side income thing takes off, that would be cool. Then I could just transition out of it and maybe, do it for a while and then find my next job or however you want to do it. My point is, if I could play a role in that whole thing, because that's exactly how it played out in my life. I had a cush corporate job and then I was reselling and I had so much fun reselling, but I didn't leave for reselling. I left for something else. And while I was doing that other thing, I was still reselling. And then I resold through everything, every stage of like corporate life to stock trader life to insurance person, insurance person, farmer's insurance person, having an own agency life, down to like full-time thrifter life, down to like full-time creator life, which is where I'm at now, like just creating. It's like reselling was there the whole time. So, I still consider it a side hustle because I'm hustling on the side, but it's just so fun, and I think if you actually have a working brain, then you can really make this happen. It can make a lot of sense. You can sit there and go like, man, if I just have a working brain, like I can make more than what most people do in a tight situation is they'll become like a bartender, or they will, drive for Uber or Lyft, for example. They might, I don't know, there's other things, but they might start building cookies and try to sell it on Facebook Marketplace. But either way, if you're a good reseller, like a couple of good flips, and it's like you're making as much as that or more, if you really work at it. So that's the way I look at it too. It's a lot of fun to do it on the side. So I think a lot of people that are doing it part-time are probably doing it for a significant reason, So what else we got here? Some more questions are coming in. Okay. So hold on real quick. I'm going to let my dog out because my dog is going kind of, I don't know, looking outside. Give me 1 second and I will be right back. Outside? Here. Okay. I'm back. My dog will probably come to the door as soon as I sit down. Anyway, so here's Tim Miner saying, I'm trying to do 4 things now. No 8 to 5. I mean, side hustles can be multiple. Let's just put it that way. No self-promotion here, though. That's good. This person's goal is to survive eBay. What's up, John Hardesty? Good to see you. Hope you are doing good and you have a prosperous 2025. Yeah, survive eBay. eBay is kind of hard right now. If I could just figure out what is the answer and the algorithm and everything, because I know my items are good. I'm just like, how do you get them like totally like found, kind of crazy. It's hard to do. We have other questions here. How's the prices for your premium eggs from the farmer's market? So the answer to that is for jumbo eggs at the farmer's market directly from the farmer, I pay $10 or $9.75 for jumbos. And then there's also these things called mega eggs. And they can't really advertise them because the morning that they pick the eggs and bring them to the farmer's market, they might have only this many or only 3 cartons worth sometimes, So the mega eggs are $5.75 for 6, but each time you crack them, 2 yolks come out that are huge. So if those are around, I'll buy some megas. But if not, I buy jumbos, and my egg prices are $9.75 for pasture raised, soy free, all organic farmer's market eggs. And I love it. And I've been paying, when I first started getting these eggs, I was getting large ones. And they was like, I think $7 a dozen 6 years ago. And so they didn't have jumbos then. Now they start having jumbos, and they only have like 10 cartons of jumbos in the morning, or maybe sometimes 15. So it's first come, first serve. So the jumbos are bigger than the larges, and then there's the mega eggs. So I know we're off topic here, but it's a question. A question is a question is a question. Everyone watches my vlogs and they understand what, like, the kind of things that I get into. Everyone watches some of the fitness stuff too, and they realize, like, okay, this is like important for building muscle. It's also important for your brain function. It's very important for your heart health. I consume on average 5 to 6 eggs a day in the morning typically, and I love it. I don't know what brain fog feels like. I don't take midday naps. I have extremely high energy. Most people can't keep up with me. I am 46 years old. Doing pretty good, 46 years old, 6 foot, 198 pounds or so. I lift 4 times a week. I do cardio almost every single day. And I think the diet is just a complementary piece of that whole puzzle as well. So if we're talking about eggs, we're talking about eggs for a specific reason. They really matter. I would be so bummed if I could not get farmers market eggs. I tell you, for real. Okay, so any flips? I want to ask some people if they've done some flips. I mean, I asked it like 30 minutes ago, but this person says no flips this week, just a soft ride road bike pickup this weekend for $30. That's cool. I know what a soft ride looks like. It has a really weird seat tube on it, if it's the one I'm thinking about. Yeah, I put that vlog together, by the way, and that's some of the stuff that is sold in the past. Oh, when did this vlog? I'm trying to think. Part of that vlog was on a Saturday. I think I started filming that vlog on a Friday. What day are we on? Thursday. So it's about 6 days, and I tried to cover as much as I could on that vlog. So if you watch the vlog today, just know that some of it is 6 days. Sorry, my cat. Some of it is, I think it's a 6-day vlog, possibly a 5-day vlog. I'm not sure. Because Emerson, my brother, was in town. So like everything just, when family members come to town, like everything goes out the window. Like food goes out the window. Your diet goes to hell. Your sense of time goes to hell. So that's just what happened with me. I think it was a 5-day vlog, possibly. And I also put the garage sale vlog up the very next day or the same day or something like that. All right, we have hold on real quick. We have a question. Hold on real quick. We have a question that came in. Of course, you can ask a workout question. It's a Hustler Q&A. So like anything that I'm affiliated with, we can ask questions about that. I will be here on the show for about 20 more minutes. Let me get my dog inside. 1 second. Come on. Get in. Okay. Yeah, so there's a question for workout stuff. Yes, of course you can ask a question. Go for it. We can turn this show to like fitness based. I don't care. Let me know. Here's the best flip before we get to that workout question. Silver Hair Stacker says this week's best flip: 2 office phones, pay 15, sold for 100. Awesome. I bet shipping was 15 on that. Am I right? Let me know. Office phones, yeah. So I wonder which ones you got, but that's cool. Yeah, I would love to talk about all that kind of stuff. We can make an actual show about fitness stuff, workout stuff, mental health, like mentality, all that kind of stuff. I would love to do a show like that. If that's something that you guys would tune into, just let me know. And I'll make sure to 100% put it on Instagram too. I don't know why I didn't click the live button on Instagram. I was so dumb. So it looks like we only got people tuning in from the Facebook and the YouTube here. We have Andrew Castillo from Facebook coming in. What's up, Andrew? Good to see you. If you have a question, I'm here for about 19 minutes and counting. I'm just making sure. Yeah, I'm seeing if these people are going to come for these items, but it's kind of crazy. One of the craziest things about Marketplace that I've seen is I have so many funny things that come around. So many. Because I don't even know how many items on Marketplace. I have a fair amount, but I have some really funny questions that come in here. I mean, really funny ones. But one of the ones that's kind of crazy is like when you give them your address, right? Some people just randomly show up. I'm like, oh my God. I'm glad I'm home. But you just like never communicated back a time or anything. It's just like an address, and then it's like they randomly show up. That's just really weird. So anyway, it's just funny. I was looking at my Marketplace kind of question. my messages, and I was reminded of that. Was I right? The shipping was $15 for those phones. Okay, that's good. We have some good shoes to bucks right here. Best flip this week. Danner boots paid $5, sold $60. That's good. Depending on where you are in the USA, that's probably $12 to ship that out. What's the biggest score you've had? That's a really good question. So I look at biggest score. Because if we look at buying and reselling as the art of like buying something that's undervalued and then selling it for more, I look at it like two different ways. Because I would say the biggest score I ever had might be a boat. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because in 2016, my wife at the time and we bought a Moomba 21V LSV. It's an LSV. It's a V-drive boat. We bought that thing for, how much did we buy it for? We were trying to get it for 29, but like it just hit the lot at like 32. Yeah, it was something like that. I think it hit the lot at like 31 or 32K. We buy this thing and it had like basically no hours on it, like 90 hours. And then we flipped it with 300 more hours, or actually maybe more than that. It was a lot. It was closer to like 470 or something. So we put 2 or 3 summers worth of lake hours on that boat. Now we did have storage slip fees, the trailer worked on a couple times. There was an insurance claim because someone stole all our amplifiers one time. But outside of that, we sold that boat. Let's assume it was 31K. Then I know for a fact that when I sold it, I listed it for a higher price, not thinking that anyone was going to buy it. And then weekend one, someone wanted to get on it. They get on the lake with us. We do an actual test drive. And the guy goes, I'll buy it right now. And I looked at my friends and we were wake surfing and wakeboarding. And I was like, man, like I felt dumb because I'm like, I shot for the moon. So we ended up selling for like 36 or so. So I made 5K on that boat. Plus I got to use it for 3 years. And with the gas and everything, it's like, yeah, you probably broke even. But you got to think about all those times on the lake, like literally paid for by profit, So it was kind of a bummer. But at the end of the day, it's like we realized at the very last part of owning that boat that we weren't using it as much as we should have. And it was the peak of summer. And I was like, let me list this thing for like a super high price, that it's not worth that, because competing boats were selling for like 30K. But ours was like a blue hull one, it had like blue and it had blue embroidery and stuff. So it looked cool. But if you have half a brain, you'd realize like it's just upholstery, and like a hull color. And that's it. So, yeah, it was interesting. It also had like an engine misfire too. Like one of the spark plugs was all jacked up. I don't even know, like out of the hole, like 1 out of 20 times when you just punch it out of the hole, it would just like stall for a second. That part kind of pissed me off. So I didn't want to go deeper into diagnosing that whole thing, because at the end of the day, it's like having a boat is enough of a problem. And then when actual problems occur on the boat, that's like the worst. So, having the boat is like, yeah, you're taking on like significant amounts of like fun, but like there is ownership stress involved. But you still make, I still made 5K, which is cool. I would honestly say the first time I owned a boat, which was around 2003 or so, I had a Air Nautique that I bought in the dead of tax season, like when it was cold. And I lowballed some guy in North Texas from like 25K. I was like, I'll buy the boat for like 17.3 is what I said. And then the guy was like, I can't do that. And then like a week later, he's like, I got to pay taxes. I can do it. So I bought it for 17.3 and I put like 500 hours on that boat. And then I sold it 3 years later for 17.3. It was crazy. So, and that one had no issues. So it just makes you, if the question is what's the biggest score you've had, now I'd say the biggest score that was like a true flip, then that would definitely be the $80 probably GameCube video gaming console that my brother and I picked up in Lakeway, Texas. It was $80. It was the actual store display of GameCube with 11 GameCube games, which we sold on the FBA for a grand total of I think $280 profit. And then we were left with the actual console with 2 controllers sticking out of it, with the bubble, with the neon, with the lockable case, with the actual demo disc inside, so people could try one of like 3 different games, with the TV put in it and all the lights and everything. And we sold that thing for $2K or maybe $2,500. So it was a pretty good flip, you know. But it was neat. It did sit in my brother's garage for probably 2 months because I had listed it for $4K and then $3,500, then $3,000, because it's such a rare item. You know, it was local pickup, eBay listed, but you're looking for such a particular buyer that it's tough to move those things, because there's always one person that's like, I know what that is and I'm going to go get it. But then they're like, wait a minute, it's in Austin, Texas. So then they're like, okay, I can't get it. So we had to wait for someone that was either in Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, or Austin to come get this thing, because then you could get a truck and you could strap it down and you could bring it home, if that makes sense. Can you briefly discuss weight loss doing cardio versus weights and machines? I got your fitness guide. Oh, cool. So yeah. Okay. So like, this is a very, very, very long response. I'm going to try to whittle it down into like a couple minutes. So if you're looking at weight loss, this is literally the next stage of like what I'm working on. If you're looking at weight loss, because at the end of the day, people are either like, I want to get bigger and more lean, or they want to get like lose weight and like get all chiseled and ripped. Like either way, everyone wants to get back to like this like attractive figure where they feel good. And then the opposite sex or the same sex, however you swing, whatever, like are attracted to them, you know? And so if we're talking about weight loss, then you're presumably overweight, right? Or overweight to some extent, or maybe you're pudgy a little bit. So when I look at weight loss, I think there's like a 5 attack approach to it. And that approach is going to be, yes, there's going to be some weights in the gym, strategic workouts in the gym, 100%, but probably no more than like 3 or 4 days in the gym on strategically built workouts. One, and this is assuming you want to lose weight at a constant pace and recomp your body. So while you're losing weight, you're recomping and you're muscling up and everything like that. So it's like this huge thing. Instead of like what most people do is they'll just lose a ton of weight and then they end up looking like a shrimp, and then they have to build all this muscle. And then it's just like, what a toll on your like endocrine system, your hormones. Like it's just dumb. Like the better way to do it is just to act the way that your actual, you know, most impressive physique would act starting today. You know, like that's the way to do it. I'm going to tell you right now. So that person that you want to be, like that chiseled person, is probably eating super healthy. They might be intermittent fasting as well. They probably have 4 workouts in the gym, strength training in a gym. They're probably doing the 12 to 15 or 10 to 15K steps a day. If not, they're on a bicycle, they're running, you know, multiple times a week. They're getting adequate sleep. They're not doing these crazy sleep cycles that are like only 6 hours here and then like 7 there and 8 here. You know, they're not doing that. They got a set, you know, bedtime usually plus or minus an hour, and they have a set wake up time plus or minus an hour. Stella, no. Anyway, the person is always also going to have a pretty positive outlook. Now, that's because the person, if you act like the person you want to become, that person already is going to be more confident, and they're going to be able to have less stress reduction. So their cortisol is naturally going to be low, which means their fat that holds onto their body is going to be not showing as much as normal people. See, like mostly people that have, you know, disruption issues with their hormones, or they have massive amounts of stress, they don't know how to regulate it, they have super high amounts of cortisol, their diet sucks, they don't really move around too much. The body is arming itself for like war. So that's where all these pounds come on. And not to mention diet is, you know, it's a big piece of the puzzle. And if you just sit there and go, well, I'm just going to get what the healthy stuff in the store says. Well, most of the healthy stuff in the store that's deemed healthy is garbage. So, you know, when I look at healthy, it's like assembling single ingredient, you know, things together. Like after this show, I have some gluten, you know, free pasta with maybe 5 ingredients in it, with some marinara sauce that's organic from Costco, which has about 5 or 6 ingredients in it. And then I'll have ground beef put in there, which is single ingredient. At the end of the day, it's like, I know what I'm putting in my body, and there's no weird oils or anything like stupid in there, no preservatives, no MSG, there's no added sugars, there's nothing stupid like that, right? I mean, this is how you get in trouble with weight, is because there's a lot of stupid added things that give you no signaling in your body to stop eating, and you just keep eating and eating and eating. So you just gain all this weight, right? So you couple that with feeling down about yourself, and you're like, oh, I missed workout today, or I don't have a workout plan, you know, and it just all snowballs into this like massive cortisol producing like machine, and that's where people get in trouble. So to answer the question properly, it isn't actually doing cardio versus weights. It's actually doing both. You have to do cardio, you have to do weights, which is implied machines and free weights and whatever. You have to do a good diet, you have to do good sleep, you know, the good proper stress reduction. You should get yourself a morning routine too, you know. So I have one on the other side that it's not that I'm working on it. It's fully built out. It's called the Blueprint. And that is a really awesome morning routine that will radically reduce your cortisol for sure. So that's going to go live in Radical Life in probably a month or two, as part of the paid program on Radical Life. But, you know, there's still if you message me behind the scenes, Tim Miner, I will make sure to get you the mini morning routine that we're going to have in the free section. Before we launch the free section, I can give it to you already because it's on my computer, and I will hook you up with that. And it'll start you off with a mini morning routine that will really help you lose or to like greatly reduce your cortisol and start, you know, making you feel pretty good. So anyway, just something I can help you out with. Yeah. And so, yeah, this person's, and Tim Brown says, I have low thyroid, as many do. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you really want to work hard on like boosting your testosterone to the highest degree possible, like naturally, as some, you know, woo-woo science people might say, is like thyroid issues are typically a result of some sort of like vitamin deficiency of some sort, right? Or a mineral deficiency. It's usually in that way. So look up a guy named Gary Brecka and check out the thyroid, like what he has to say about that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Gary, Gary Brecka. And then look at research his stuff on thyroid, and you're gonna be like, holy crap, like I need to take that methylated test and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, we got some people on the way to come get some stuff to get a pizza oven, so that's good. Okay, yeah, just DM me behind the scenes. What's up, Katie Reeds? Good to see you. Good to see you. Kid Jeff is saying, how do I boost T levels naturally? You know, if you want to do it unnaturally, then obviously you go get testosterone. If you're going to do it naturally, then you're going to want to look at ashwagandha KSM 66. You're going to want to look at Tongkat Ali. You might want to get into, what's the other one? But it does have some liver toxicity associated to it a little bit. There's another one called Fedosia agrestis. You want to check it out. That, Yohimbe. Obviously, proper strength building workouts. That's going to help really a lot. Very good sleep. Very good sleep has been known to show 100 to 200 points more on your T numbers, just having really good sleep. Now, what is really good sleep? Now you have to talk about deep sleep, REM sleep. You know, maybe you get an Oura ring or the bracelet thing, start tracking all that. But you do want to aim for like 8 or 10 hours. But the easiest way to get higher T is to sleep better. After that, there's natural supplements like I just discussed. Ashwagandha KSM 66, Yohimbe, Tongkat Ali, Fedosia agrestis. There's a bunch of others actually. So yeah, and then the company that I do work for behind the scenes, Organic Muscle, we have the only organic Tongkat Ali out there that I use all the time. It's actually, I'll show you a bottle right here. I mean, it's literally like right here. So yeah, you can see it. This is the Tongkat Ali box. Boom, when we make orders. This is Tongkat Ali right there from Organic Muscle. You can use the code RADICAL and you can save some money on there. Check it out. You can also use the code BODDAM and save some money on that one right there. But yeah, I take this every single day. Sometimes 3 pills, sometimes mostly 2, but it's pretty good. Ginseng is more for like energy, just so you know. If you want Sam Sulek level, then yeah, you're gonna have to do you're gonna have to do the crazy steroids, but then you're gonna wreck your life. So just so you know, if you want to get big and you want to get muscular and huge and like just crazy looking, you're probably going to shave off 20 to 40 years of your life by making that actual that decision. But that's a decision that only someone can do. It's not my thing, but anyway, go also check out my other channel called BODDAM on YouTube. Okay, BODDAMN. All right, and you'll see some more. You'll see the kind of workouts that I'm doing, and yeah. So I have someone coming here to come get this like pizza oven thing for $70, and I got to get off this show. But we'll do another live show. It could even be tonight. I don't even know. Maybe if you see me and look at the title of the show and it says like a healthy based show or a fitness based show, now it's gonna we'll be doing a lot of fitness based questions. It seems like a lot of people want to talk about that kind of stuff, and I don't blame you. It's the most you know, when people come find me in public and everything like that, yeah, we talk about reselling in the green room hangouts. We talk about that. Even during the green room hangouts, people would come talk about reselling for a little bit. And then after a while, it would always shift to health stuff. Always, every single time, every single meetup, every single big ranch meetup, people would be cornering me, like asking me about, you know, how to get healthier and how to lose weight and like how to be more dynamic. And like they would see this character on YouTube making these vlogs and be like, oh, you know, getting all like wacky and crazy. And then they would be like, you know, I kind of want some of that energy. It'd be nice to have that kind of pizzazz for life. Not to mention if you peel off your shirt and you want to feel good about yourself, like I get it. Right. And so I'd get a lot of those questions. You would think like they come to a thrifting kind of conference meetup thing and it'd be all thrifting, like everything thrifting, but it wasn't, you know? So it's a very common kind of thing across male, female, like doesn't matter what age. It was just like, they all wanted to be like more fit. They wanted to feel better. And it's just it's a common thing that everyone wants, you know. Life gets complicated. Even being a reseller, it gets complicated. But if you're not educated on how to really steer that ship in the right direction, what ends up happening is you're just heading for like a waterfall, you know, and eventually the waterfall happens and you have like a health issue and it gets catastrophic or borderline catastrophic or might drain your bank account. And only then would you make the decision to like really be healthy. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, why not just steer the ship around a little bit, like, and just make every single like decision like an oar stroke to just turn the ship around and go upstream a little bit. Anyway, it's just the way I think about it. And at the end of the day, it's like you don't know sometimes what your destiny is until you've lived through your destiny a little bit. And at the end of the day, I never thought at 46 I'd be right here, you know, like still looking a certain way. And people think I'm like 28 or 34 sometimes, and not sometimes, like all the time. When I tell people I'm like 46, they're like, they literally short circuit and you can almost see smoke coming out of their ears. And it's a compliment. But at the end of the day, it's also because I chose a radically different lifestyle than most people, right? But it's not in any way something that can't be taught. And it's not in any way something that's not fun. I think it's being highly responsible. It's being highly like thankful for the life that I can live. And it's like, I still want to move 10 years from now and 20 years from now. I want to travel. I want to travel the world. Like I'm going to need mobility in my knees, my lower back, and all that kind of stuff to do those things. I need to be able to carry heavy loads of a backpack if I want to go trek a big mountain. So that's the way I kind of see it. The second you stop moving, it's like your reality and your world starts to really come in, which is why true depression a lot of times puts people in chairs, in beds, in couches, and they don't want to move. And that's really bad. So anyways, if I can help get people to expand more, that's really the next evolution of like everything that I'm doing. This is the reason why I'm also a part-time thrifter. It's because I'm working on that on the side. So anyway, I will see you on another show, and maybe we can get a fitness show started up, possibly even tomorrow or maybe even tonight. I really enjoy everyone coming through here, but I got to get left alone.